I've been using Perplexity for more than a year now, and today I'm going to show you some secret prompts in Perplexity that feels illegal to know, but they will certainly help you work better with this platform and you will get most out of it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the prompt number one. So the prompt number one is very helpful, especially if you are a content creator who uses Perplexity a lot to generate paragraphs, or you want to use it to generate an article for your blog post, or maybe you want to get some info from Perplexity and then you want to paste that into your social media account. So I wanted to look at this Perplexity thread. This is actually a generic looking Perplexity answer. There is a paragraph, there are bullet points, there is also heading, but I want you to focus on the paragraph number one. As you can see here, there are some numbers at the end of a sentence. For example, there is a number 5 here indicating that this sentence is coming from this source, from this website. At least Perplexity got this information from this website. It is very useful to make sure that you got the best, the most correct information from the internet, so it is not a hallucination from the AI, which is again very helpful. But the downside is when you, let's say, select this paragraph and then you can right click, copy, and then you want to paste it into your website, it's going to cause a trouble. So let me show you what's going to happen if you just paste the paragraph from Perplexity to, let's say, a WordPress website. If I do that, you'll see that there's this number 5 and there's number 1, 3, there's number 2 at the end of the sentence. It is very annoying, but there is actually a way to remove that, or at least you could request Perplexity to not include these citations on the response, and this is the prompt that you can use. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to edit this prompt. The question is still the same, but I'm going to add something new. I'm going to add this prompt. The prompt is do not include citation numbers in your response. This is the prompt, and when you click save, it will redo the research again and it will give you a response without the citation numbers. It is very helpful, especially if you want to copy the content to other websites. And as you can see, this is the first paragraph. There is no citations at all. It's clean. It's looking good. It's not looking like Wikipedia anymore. And I think this is very helpful to copy and paste the content to a different platform. So that was the first prompt. Let's move on to the prompt number 2. Okay, for the second prompt, it's going to be very interesting because we are going to try to get this article, which is a paywalled article from the New York Times, and we want to use Perplexity to actually read the content and then provide some sort of summary to us, even though we don't have any access to this content. I actually got this idea from Matt on Twitter. He's actually using this prompt to grab content that is paywalled, and apparently he was able to get the content using Perplexity. So I actually modified the prompt a little bit, and this is the prompt that I'm using to get a content from a paywalled article. The prompt is read this article, find other sources of this article, and then summarize the content accurately. Then I'm going to copy the URL of this page and I'm going to paste that to Perplexity, and hopefully it will give us a correct or at least accurate answer based on this information. Okay, now it is giving us some response. The article is here. It says it doesn't have the full access to the article. So from what I can understand is this AI is actually able to read the content, but not all of it. So it might still able to read some section of the content. It could be maybe half of the content, but it is not the whole article, which I think still better than nothing. So this is the response that Perplexity is giving us. And I'm not going to read all of that, but based on my previous attempts, it is actually decently accurate. It is not giving me all the information, but it is just good enough to know about what the content really is. So I think this could be useful in case you find an article that is unfortunately paywalled and you cannot read that. So you could use Perplexity to peek into the article and hopefully get some insight out of it. Let's move on to the next prompt, which is very exciting. Okay, the goal of this prompt is to force Perplexity to read more sources before giving us the response. As you can see here, I have this question, what is Starship Rocket in Perplexity? And then it is giving me this response, which is coming from 1, 2, 3, 4 sources, which is, I think, good enough. But we can force Perplexity to actually read more content. We can force it to maybe to read 8, 10, or even 20 different articles. And therefore, the response is going to be more detailed, which is very helpful if you are conducting some research or you want to learn something more deeply using Perplexity. And the prompt is actually very simple. I'm going to edit this query and I'm going to add this simple prompt into the existing prompt I have on Perplexity. The prompt is search thoroughly. Yeah, it's just 2 words. It's very simple. I'm going to click save and you will see that it will read more content and eventually it will give us more detailed response. It is used to be 4, but now we got 7 prompt from this question thanks to this extra prompt, and the answer is more detailed compared to the previous prompt. So yeah, you can use it to get detailed answer from Perplexity. Let's move on to the prompt number 4. Did you know that Perplexity can be used to generate AI images? Well, I have this picture from Pixabay and I actually have downloaded this picture to my computer, and my goal here is to recreate this image using Perplexity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop that image into this section, into a new chat on Perplexity, and the prompt that I'm going to use is actually very simple and it's very short. So this is the prompt: recreate this image. When you're using this prompt, what's going to happen is Perplexity will analyze the picture and it will kind of giving you a detailed description about the picture, and we can use that to recreate the image on the same window. Okay, it's still running. It's actually taking forever because it's doing some complex coding just to analyze the picture, which is actually a good thing because we want to accurately recreate this picture. Okay, so this is not the picture that it is recreated, not yet. It's just giving us the preview. If you want to create an image, you can click generate image and then you can select the style. I think this is an oil painting. I'm going to select painting and hopefully we will get a somewhat accurate result based on this image. So just to give you another preview, this is the original image and this is the image that Perplexity is giving us. I think the component is there. There is a pumpkin, there is a jar, there is a book, there is also this maple leaf, I believe. And yeah, it's very similar. If you are not happy, you can do it again. You can keep it running until you get the picture that you want. So in this example, I'm using the photograph mode. Maybe it will yield a different result. Okay, this is the result for a photograph. It's still more or less the same, and as you can see, I think the structure, the style is very similar, and not to mention this is part of Perplexity and you don't have to pay for an expensive AI image generator. And by the way, I'm using the Flux model, which I think right now is the best AI model that you could use to generate high quality images, and again, it is part of Perplexity, so it is very useful to generate visual content even using Perplexity. Let's move on to the next prompt. If you have a website and you want to get a backlink, or maybe you want to get a traffic from Perplexity, there is actually a way to do that. So a few months ago, Perplexity launched something called Perplexity Pages, and it is a feature that is kind of similar to Wikipedia, or essentially you can create a page similar to Wikipedia with the help of AI. You can prompt Perplexity and it will give you this article with the style of Wikipedia, where you can see a lot of citation numbers and there's a picture, there is a heading, and it is just easy to navigate and consume this content. But you can also insert your own website link into the article. But of course, this is very challenging because the leak that I read a few days ago about Perplexity system prompt actually prohibit Perplexity from adding URLs or hyperlinks into its content. But of course, there is a workaround. In this example, I have this link that's actually leading me to a blog post that I have on my website, and this is embedded on this Perplexity page. But this prompt is a little too long for this video. I actually have explained that on my previous video. So if you are interested and you want to get a backlink and traffic from Perplexity for free, then check out this video and I'll see you there.